Wiggles stirred awake to the soft scritch-scritch of tiny claws on metal. Blinking, he found Squeaks at the cage door, tugging at the latch with determined little paws. "What are you doing?" Wiggles yawned.
"Can you smell it?"
Squeaks whispered.
"Chocolate. Peanuts. Caramel. There's Snickers out there."
Wiggles sniffed the air. At first, all he caught was the familiar scent of wood shavings and sunflower seed shells. But then, faint, sweet, and unmistakable, something rich drifted in through the cracked window. Squeaks gave the latch another hard tug. The door swung open.
"Come on, if we hurry, we can get back before the humans wake up."
Wiggles hesitated, glancing at the quiet, shadowy room. The glowing red clock read 2:37 a.m. The world outside felt too still, too heavy, but the thought of a Snickers was enough to push him forward. Together, the hamsters dropped onto the carpet, landing with tiny thuds. Squeaks led the way, quick and eager, while Wiggles waddled behind, muttering about how dangerous this all seemed. The night air was colder than it should have been. The street was empty, washed pale by flickering lamps that buzzed above like dying insects. No owls hooted, no crickets chirped. Their tiny claws clicked softly on the sidewalk as they scurried along. The fluorescent lights of the AM/PM hummed and flickered against the empty parking lot. The store was silent, too silent. The air smelled faintly of burnt coffee and something metallic, like rust. Wiggles waddled toward the candy aisle, his tiny claws clicking softly on the tile. Squeaks darted ahead, whiskers twitching with hunger and nerves. The shelves loomed over them, mountains of sugar and plastic, and they saw it, the row of chocolate bars. But something was wrong. The Snickers were gone. Every single one. The shelf where they should have been was bare, dust-lined and shadowy. In their place sat only Twix bars. Rows and rows of them, their gold wrappers gleaming faintly in the sickly store light. Squeaks let out a nervous chirp.
"Where are they? They have to be here."
Wiggles stepped closer, paw reaching for a wrapper. As soon as he touched it, the light above them snapped off. The aisle plunged into darkness, except for the faint, unnatural glimmer of the Twix bars. One of them shifted, the wrappers crinkling on its own. Then another moved, and another. Soon the entire shelf was alive with sound, cracking, rustling, writhing. The gold packages began to tear open, caramel dripping down in sticky strands, chocolate oozing like something rotten. From within each bar, something crawled. Long, thin fingers made of caramel stretched outward, and crooked jaws split open where nugget should have been. Wiggles froze, heart pounding. Squeak squealed, but the sound was swallowed by the rising chorus of wet, sticky laughter that gurgled from the candy shelf.
"Snickers."
The voices hissed in unison.
"You want Snickers?"
The Twix creatures slid from their wrappers, leaving trails of caramel like snails, and began crawling toward the hamsters. The lights overhead flickered again, revealing the aisles stretching longer than before. Endless rows of nothing but Twix, shifting, watching, waiting. Wiggles grabbed Squeaks by the scruff, pulling him back towards the door, but the sliding glass was gone, only more shelves. And Squeaks spotted it, high above, at the very edge of the aisle, a vending machine. Its glass front was cracked, a faint glow shining through the jagged opening.
"This way!"
Squeak squeaked, darting forward. Wiggles followed, paws slipping in the trails of caramel. The Twix creatures surged after them, wrappers tearing, jaws snapping. With one final scramble, the hamsters climbed up the side of the vending machine, claws scratching desperately at the plastic frame. Behind them, the door shook as something enormous shifted in the dark, a deep growl rattling through the aisles. Squeaks squeezed through the crack in the vending machine glass. Wiggles tumbled in after him, just as a sticky caramel hand swiped across the outside, missing them by inches. Through the glass, they watched as the Twix creatures swarmed, crawling over each other. Squeaks panted.
I don't care if I never see another Snickers again.
Wiggles nodded, chest heaving. Agreed, sunflower seeds sound great right about now. The vending machine kept them safe until dawn. Wiggles and Squeaks huddled together, listening to the distant rustling of wrappers until, at last, the noise faded. When the first sunlight bled through the dusty glass, they pushed their way out of the crack and scurried into the cool morning air. The AM/PM looked ordinary now, almost boring, but Wiggles and Squeaks didn't look back until their little house came into view. The back door hung ajar, waiting. They slipped inside, claws tapping softly against the tile. Everything was quiet, safe, normal. By the time they scrambled back into their cage, both hamsters were panting. Wiggles flopped into the bedding with a groan. No more midnight snacks, he muttered. Ever. Squeaks gave a tired grin.
Agreed. Sunflower seeds for life.
The two of them curled up, finally letting sleep take them. A few hours later, the bedroom door creaked open. Their human shuffled in, rubbing sleep from their eyes. The hamsters stirred faintly, but stayed hidden in the fluff of their bedding, peeking through the bars. The human yawned, reaching into a crinkling plastic bag, and pulled out a golden wrapper. A Twix. Both hamsters bolted upright in unison, eyes wide. Squiggles squeaked, "Nope!" and buried himself under the bedding.